session. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, can someone confirm whether my audio is okay?
It is. We can hear you.
Okay, so we will be studying about Matplotlib, and I have to wrap up this session in another 55 minutes. I have some webinar to attend. So we will be finishing off Matplotlib today, and then from next session onward, we will be starting the AI/ML. Okay, so today's topic is Matplotlib. Okay, so what we are going to study in Matplotlib? So we will be studying about the various plots that we can draw using Matplotlib. The first plot that we can draw is line. So we will be seeing how to draw a line, then bar, then we have histogram, then we have pie chart, then next thing is scatter plot, and then subplots. So these, these few of these things you might have, studied in your elementary mathematics, right? How to draw these, charts and what are the significance of these chart. So we'll be seeing how exactly we do that using Python third-party library Matplotlib. Okay. So in order to install, so as we have seen in pandas and numpy case, right? So we used to basically install Matplotlib using pip install command. So pip install matplotlib, if I'll type, it will basically install it. And once it installed, so what we can do is we basically have to import the matplotlib pyplot module. So this is a module in
हाँ समझ गया मैं
one of the module in Matplotlib. And what are other modules basically apart from pyplot? So we have CM, then colors, style.
सही है
There are many modules. So someone has to go on mute. I can hear background noises.
मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ मशीन लर्निंग
Okay, Deepansh, let me
करते करते नहीं हो भाई
mute. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we will be seeing about the pyplot module. So pyplot may first thing using pyplot, we'll be seeing how to draw line. Okay. So first thing we will see is how to draw basic line. Then after that, we will see how to add labels and titles in the final line that we draw. Then we'll see how we can adjust colors, line style, and markers. And then important attributes we will see. Important attributes. And shortcut styles also we'll see. Shortcut styles. Some of the shortcut styles. Okay. Cool. So let's see how do we draw a line. Simple line. Okay. X axis, Y axis, and then we draw the line giving the X coordinate and Y coordinate. Okay. So let's see how do we draw basic line. So let me take X values as in the form of list. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me take 5 points, and then Y axis pay. Let me take 10, 20, 30, 50, something like this. And I will be using PLT, which is the alias name for the pyplot module that I have imported. So plt.plot x, y, and then plt.show. So this is a very basic line graph that I can draw. If I run this program, you can see. So it has drawn a line, a graph representing a line. This is x-axis, and this is y-axis with all the values that we have given, and it has then drawn the basic line. Okay, so this is the basic plot that we draw. Next thing is we'll be seeing how to add labels and titles. Okay, so by labels and title, so here I'm plotting. So after plotting, let me give the title of the diagram or the plot that I'm drawing. Whatever figure that you were showing, you were seeing in the output, I want to give some title. My first Matplotlib graph, something like this I am giving. And I can add X label and Y label, the name to X axis and Y axis. So PLT dot X label, let's say I'm giving X axis. Similarly, Y label ko I'm giving Y axis. And then after that, normal PLT dot show. So when once I'll run this program, you can see it has taken x-axis here. It has given the name x-axis, y-axis here, and the name of the uh, the title that I have given, my first Matplotlib graph. So this is how you add labels and titles. Next thing we will be seeing is how to add colors, how to change colors, how to change line styles and markers. What are these? Let's see that now. So color, line style, and marker is something which you will be adding under this particular line. Dot plot, when you are calling inside this dot plot plt dot function, plot function, we will be adding more arguments. So color argument is there. So color, let's say I'm giving red as the color, and line style. Line style is, let's say, line style may I am giving dotted instead of solid line, and marker O. Let me run this and show you what these represents. Okay. So यहाँ पे, if you can see here, so this is the dotted line basically which is being drawn here, which is represented by line style. So colon represent dotted. What are other line styles which I can draw? It is dash dash, which is known as dashed. Solid is something which by default it draws. So all the previous graphs that you have seen there, it has drawn solid. Then we have dash dot. Dash dot is something like this, and then this dotted one, represented by colon. Marker means, so O, you can see here, right? This O, these O. So these are the markers. So these markers will be placed on x and y values that we have given. So x and y value, for example, 1, on the value of x equal to 1, y value is 10. So that is why ये 1, 10 पे it will put one marker. Then 2, 20 पे it will basically put another marker. So it is basically the coordinates on which it will put marker. Before we have seen it was drawing a continuous line without any marker. So we will not be able to guess what all coordinates that we have given to this line initially, right? So in order to know that, we will be using marker attribute, right? So here you can see 5 coordinates are there. Without coordinates, we were not able to guess how many coordinates we have given in our program. So that's where marker attributes comes into the picture. What are other marker attributes which we can take? So it will be like S, we can give square, then caps for upper, triangle up, it represent V, triangle down, then X, plus sign, asterisk sign, and what else? D, if will denote D, it will basically denote diamond. So let's try out some of these options, huh? Changing some of these options. So instead of marker equal to O, I am giving, let's say, asterisk I am giving. Line style may, let's say, uh, dash dot I am giving. And color may red, let's say I'm giving green. So instead of red and green, I can give R and G also, just a single word, right? But let me give green here. And let's see uh, how I will basically see the graph, the final graph that will be drawn. You can see here this marker is changed to asterisk and the line color is green and it is represented by dash dot in dash dot format. X-axis is there, Y-axis is there, and the title of the plot is also printed in the final graph. Now, what other attributes which we can add? So there are, let me write down quickly. So some of the line attributes that we can add. So line attributes may we have seen we have added color, then we have line style. These are something that these are something very common that people uses. Then we have something known as line width also and alpha. So what line width basically represent the width of the line and alpha basically represents the transparency of the line. Then, so this is about line attribute, line attribute. Then we have marker attributes. So marker attributes may, what are the attributes? We have marker that we have already seen. Then we have marker size or ms also directly we can write. Then we have marker face color, marker edge width. So these are something which are less commonly used. So I don't want to confuse you by, bombarding with, a lot of information. So I'm just highlighting important attributes that you can focus on. So these are some of the marker attributes, important marker attributes. Next is other attributes apart from the marker and line attributes. So what are other attributes? So other attributes may label is there. Okay, what is label? I'll come to that later on. Then we have draw style and dash cap style, dash join style, solid cap style. So again, these are some of the uh, unimportant things I would say. But still, if you want to explore on it, so you can explore on your own. So let's see some of these attributes now. So line style is something we have seen, and let's say we will be using line width also here. So line width, uh, line width. Let's say I'm giving the value as 2. What else? Marker I have given. Alpha represents transparency. Okay, marker size. Okay, all these things. Okay, marker size भी ठीक है. So I have added some of these attributes, and let's say once I'll run this program, how does it affect? You can see here marker size basically controls the size of this marker, and marker face color that I was talking, right? It is blue, and the alpha means point 5, right? So let's change the value of alpha to see the transparency effect. Okay, what else we have used? Line width. Okay, so let's change line width and alpha to see what effect it will have on the final graph. So instead of 2, let me give 9. Instead of alpha equal to 0.5, let me give alpha equal to 0.1, and let's see how it works now. So you can see line width when I change, so you can see the width of this line changed, and transparency, alpha denotes transparency. 0.1 means more transparent, and as we move towards 1, it will be more transparent. So this is how you basically control these attributes of the final drawn graph basically. So this is how you draw your basic line, not basic line, basically use these some of the important attributes in the line graph. Now let's see how we use legend. Or instead of that, let's see how do we use multiple, how do you draw multiple lines and multiple lines on this on one plot, and we will use the labels also, labels and legend. Okay, so let's see how do we do that. So let me delete these first of all. So x1 let me take as, no, sorry, x is fine. So x-axis by we'll keep these values, same values. Y1 we are keeping 10, 20, 30, 40. Let's take Y2. And Y2 may, let's take some random values, 12, 15, 18. 19 and 24, something like this. And I want to draw two graphs. First is X versus Y1. Second graph, X versus Y2. Okay, this is what I want to draw, and this should be displayed on single figure that will be displayed in the output. Okay, let's see how we do that. So first thing is we'll be using plt.plot x comma y1, simple. And let's use the label attribute now. So label में let's say I'm giving first graph and second graph x comma y2. Again I'll be calling plot function second time, and label I'm giving second graph and plt.show. Let's see how it draws this. Okay. Okay, so we are talking about multiple lines on one plot, not multiple graphs on one plot. So that we will see later on when we'll be using subplots. Okay, so these are multiple lines in same graph. So you can see this one, blue one is the first line graph, second is the this orange one is the second line graph. And if you can see, we have given the label, right? First graph, it's not showing anywhere, right? Now, in order to show these label basically means the first line and the second line will be named with whatever we are giving in label. But in order to show this particular thing, you have to use plt.legend function. Unless you are not using plt.legend, these will not be shown. Okay. Now let's see what happens when I run this program now. So you can see this now, right? So in legend, you can see it represent blue wala represent first graph and orange wala represent second graph. So these are the labels. And if we'll give X label, so okay, let's give X label also. So that label and X label, Y label, you don't get confused. For providing X label and Y label, what you have to do is basically you will be using plt dot X label X, Y label Y. Okay. यहाँ पे let me make it as X axis. इसमें I'll make it as Y axis. ठीक है. And then plt.legend, plt.show. And if I'll run this now, what will happen? It will draw the graph, and you can see this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and these are labels that I have given. And this will not be shown unless and until I'll use legend function from plt module, plot module, pyplot module. Okay, so this is how you draw normal plot type of type line. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to the next one. Next one is bar charts. How do we draw bar charts? So bar charts are basically something which will look like this, right? Let me show you an example. Bar chart may you will be drawing some bars like this, right? Bar chart, something like this. You'll be drawing bars, something like this. You basically draw when you draw bar charts. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's see that. So let's uh, let's say let's define two list categories equal to A comma B comma C. Let's take three categories and let's take values as 5 something random, 5 6 2 something like this. And what I have to do now, I have to draw the bar chart. So I'll use plt dot bar. Between categories and value I have to draw, and plt dot show. Okay, simple. And if I'll run this, you can see it is basically creating this ABC and the bar chart. So ABC, A represent first value, B represent second value, C represent third value, and 5 represents the height of this bar chart, 6 represent the height of this B wala, and so on. Simply we can do like this also, right? Instead of A, B, C, we can give x axis की value, y axis की value, and then bar chart we are drawing for x, comma y, and if I will run this now, it will draw simply. Okay, what happened? I haven't. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, A, B, C, and then okay. So this is the normal bar chart. Now let's see what all attributes we can add. So bar chart may let's try to add some of the attributes. So attributes where you will be adding in this particular line you will be adding, right? So let's add first attribute. So color, let's add color. So color may I'll be adding, let's say blue was there by default. So let me add red. I can either give red, I can either give R, or I can either give uh, the hash code of the color, right? Let's give R here. Then next thing is, let's say width, I am giving width. By default, it is 0.5. Let me give 0.2. I'll decrease the width. What else we can? Uh, there is one more attribute, edge color. Edge color ko let's say I'm giving black. Alpha 0.7. 0.7 means more opaque. If I'll go towards 0, 0.1, 0.2, it will be more transparent. Okay. And okay, there is one more hatch karke, there is one more attribute. Hatch means whatever you are providing inside this, it will be filled inside the bar chart. Well, let me remove hatch first and then draw, and you'll be able to make out what exactly I mean. So when I'll run this program, okay, you can see A, B, C. Okay. So color red tha, so it represents R. Width you can see, right? Width became small because we have given 0.2. Edge color is black. You can see here यहाँ पे edge color, right? These edge color. This is represented by black, and alpha is the 0.7 is basically what alpha denotes, which is more opaque, I would say. So let's try to change these values, and let me add hatch also now. So if I will add hatch, and I'll be adding this particular symbol in the hatch. So it represents the pattern that you will be filling inside the bar. And alpha को let me give some 0.3, so it will be little transparent. Edge color को let me make it as blue. Width, let's make it as little bit more, 0.7, let's say. Okay, if I'll draw this now, so you can see these boundary. Okay, boundary को let's make it a black, because hatch is also coming in the blue color. Okay, so this basically edge color only defines the hatch color also. So hatch, this forward slash is something like which will be filled inside this, and alpha, you can see it is less transparent now, right? Edge color is black, width of the bars are 0.7, which is more now, and the color is red. So this is how you draw bar chart, and this is how you play along with the different what you say, attributes. Okay, now next type of plot is histogram. Okay, let's see what is histogram. So histogram displays continuous numerical data by dividing it into bins. Basically means intervals, and show how many data points fall into each bin using bars. So histogram is little tricky. Let's say, let's see how do we draw histogram. First of all, let's take some data. So for taking data, let me create a NumPy array. So I will be importing NumPy library. Okay. And let me create the data equal to np.array. And let me take some values, 45, 50, 51, 53, 60, 61, 62, 78, 80, 82, 95. Okay. So I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 values. Okay. Now I want to draw histogram. So I will be drawing plt dot hist, and histogram mein I'll be giving data as the first parameter, first argument, and then I will be giving one attribute bins, bins. So by default, bin value is 10, but let's say I'm giving bin value as 5. Okay, what does it it basically signifies? I will tell you. So bin 5 means, so whatever values that we have given, 45 is the lowest and 95 is the highest, right? In this particular data that I have given. So till from 45 to 95, it will divide the values into 5 equal parts. So how it will divide? So 40, so first basically intervals, basically it will divide. So first interval, it will basically divide, let's say in this case 45 to 55, then 55 to 65, and then 65 to 75, then 75 to 85, and then 85 to 95. It will divide like this. So you can see how many intervals are there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was decided by this attribute bins. Okay. Now, in each of these intervals, how many values are there in the data? Let's calculate this. Okay. So from 45 to 55, how many values are there? 45, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 values. So यहाँ पे we will write down 4. Okay. 55 to 65, how many values are there? 55 to 65, 1, 2, 3, right? 3 values are there. Now 65 to 75, no value. So 0 I will write here. 75 to 85, how many values are there? 75 to 85, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So यहाँ पे 3 will be there. And 85 to 95, how many? Only 1 is there. Only 1 is there. So I will write it down like this. Now, now how histogram will draw, how we will draw histogram in this case. So x-axis pay, it will define the interval 45 to 55 first interval, and similarly second histogram pe second interval, third, fourth, like this it will draw. And y-axis will be the total. These values will come on y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this it will be there. And in each interval, so for example 45 to 55, 4 is there. So it will draw 45 to 55 something like this, kind of a bar chart. But difference between bar chart and histogram is that it will draw continuous bars. Something like this it will draw. Then 55 to 65, uh, the value is 3. So 55 to 65, let's say यहाँ पे if I'm drawing, it will draw 3 like this. So these chart will be continuous like this. So this is how the histogram works. So let's see the output. How we'll see the output. So this is just the explanation I want to give you how histogram works and what exactly is the histogram. So histogram displays continuous numerical data by dividing it into the intervals and shows how many data points fall into each bins using bars. Okay, so plt.show. So if I'll run this program, so you can see this, right? So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 it has given. So यहाँ पे it is 55, something like this, right? 55. And यहाँ पे it is 55 and 60. It is taking mid value in each interval. Then 55, sorry, uh, 50, 60. So this is 55. This, 1 second. So this is 45, right? 45. this will be 55 and so on, right? So we have seen, right, 45 to 55, how many values were there? 4. So it has drawn this bar chart till, I mean, the height of this bar chart of 4 unit. 55 to 65, यहाँ पे 65 will be there. So 55 to 65, how many were there? 3 were there, right? So this particular thing, this particular, iska, the height will be 3. 65 to 75, it was 0, so nothing is displaying here. 75 to 85, it was 3, so again the height is 3 here in this case. And 85 to 95, it was 1. So that's why here in this case, the height is 1. So this is how you draw histogram. Now histogram and bar chart looks same, right? But what is the difference between histogram and bar chart? Let's see that. So, um, okay. So difference is, first difference. So bar chart, basically what is it basically shows? It shows categorical data. Shows categorical data. Histogram, what does it show? It shows uh, distribution of continuous data. Distribution of continuous data, correct? Second difference, bar chart do not touch each other, right? Histogram, as it is a continuous value, right? Continuous distribution of the value. So bars touch each other. Bars touch each other in this case. This is second difference. And third difference is that bar chart में categories represents labels and bin represents range. Histogram में, in histogram, bin or interval represents ranges. Okay. So this is the difference between histogram and bar chart. Again, so यहाँ पे we have taken bins as 5. Let's say I am taking bin as 10. So it will, the histogram will change accordingly. Now it will basically form 10 intervals. Instead of 45 to 55, it will, create some different intervals so that all these values basically divides, or the range basically divides into 10 equal intervals. So when I'll run this program, you can see it has divided into 10 intervals, and now interval changes. So total value in each range also changes, and then the output, the histogram, का y value or total number of data in each of these category also changes. So this is histogram. Okay, what is the next chart that we want to learn? Next is pie chart. Okay, so pie chart. So what is pie chart? Basically, pie chart में some pie chart like this you draw, right? ऐसे पिज्जा की तरह you basically draw, and first category, second category, third category, something like this we draw, right? So let's see how do we draw pie chart. Okay, so pie chart में let's take as labels equal to apple, banana, cherry. Some fruits we will take apple, banana, cherry. Okay, and sizes equal to 40, 30, 30. Okay, and plt dot, what I want to draw? I want to draw pie chart. So pie I will use, sizes I will define, and labels I will define like this, and plt dot show. If I'll run this, it will draw pie chart, right? So it represent apple overall with all the, with respect to size, apple and cherry are of same size. Sorry, banana and cherry are of same size. So this is same, and apple is different. So this is different. Okay, so what we can do, we can add one more label here, which is known as auto PCT. Auto PCT. Auto PCT means automatically display percent label. And I will use 1.1 F percent F. So 1.1. So this basically 0.1 represent take one decimal point after, I mean, take till one decimal point. So if I'll run this program now, it will display, okay, the data may 40% data is apple, 30 and 30 is 30% data is banana, 30% data is cherry. If I'll do it 1.1 की जगह 1.2 if I will do, so percentage it will take till two decimal places. So third you can see here यहाँ पे 0.00, so 0.00 it is like this, right? Now how do we calculate percent basically? यहाँ पे तो we have taken simple values 40 30 30, right? So apple का percent when we have calculated, so apple का size 40 and divided by total size. So total size is what? 40 plus 30 plus 30, which is 100, right? So apple का size divided by total size into 100. This is how we are calculating percentage. तो ये straight away it came 40%. Similarly, this came 30%, this came 30% because the sum of all these value is 100. So that is why percent tallies with the sizes. But let's say we are giving some different sizes. Let's say 412 and let's say I'm giving 37 and let's say I'm giving 213, something like this I am giving. Now if we'll calculate the percentage for apple, वो कैसे calculate होगा? So 412 divided by 412 plus 37 plus 213 into 100. This is how the percentage for apple will be calculated. Percentage for banana will be calculated as 37 divided by 412 plus 37 plus 213 and so on. So when I'll run this program, the percentage will be something different, right? Like this. So apple ka came at 62.24, banana ka 5.59, cherry ka 32.18, something like this. So this is how you basically draw the pie chart. Okay. Now we can change the colors also. इसमें let's say if you want to change the color of these apple, banana, cherry, what you have to do is that you have to use just colors एक लेंगे आप and then in the list you will give, let's say I'm giving red, uh, yellow, and cyan. And if I'll run this now, it will change red, yellow, cyan it is. So this is how you basically change and play with the colors also. Okay. So this is about pie chart. Next is scatter plot. Scatter, this one. So scatter plot and line plot both are same. But the thing is that scatter plot is same as line plot, but without line basically. So all the points that you will define there will be in a scattered value, in a scattered way, right? So let's say x equal to 1, 2, 3, 5 I am giving, y I am giving as 10, 20, 30, 40 I am giving, plt dot, what type of plot I want to draw? Scatter. I'll use scatter x, y and plt dot show. Let's see what happens if I'll draw it.
Let's use the
Yeah, anyone is saying something?
yeah, Abhinav, let's use shortcut keys. We missed it in the line plot. For this plot, let's shall we use instead of
Yeah.
color C or something like that?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So scatter plot defines, basically draws the graph where what we have done, what we have seen, it has not drawn the line. It has just, what do you say? It has just uh, drawn the points on the graph without line. So this is scatter plot. Okay, so let's see the shortcut. Yeah, we have missed that shortcut. So we will see line because line में dotted and those lines also we can add, right? Scatter में we cannot do that. So let's see how do we use shortcut shortcut style basically. So shortcut style, let's say I want to draw a line plot, right? So plt dot plot I will use, and x comma y comma. Generally, how do I do that? I was giving color equal to red, and then line style I was giving like this, and marker like this, right? Instead of here solid line, I am giving dashed line here, let's say. Okay. And plt dot show, if I run this, it basically draws this line plot, correct? Now all these things that I have given here, right? So we can provide this in a shortcut way also. So what is the shortcut way? So shortcut way may shortcut, how you will basically do, यहाँ पे you remove this everything, you give single quote, and you will give the color that you want to put R, marker 0, and type of line that you want to draw like this. And now if I will run this, it will still draw the same line. Now what is happening here? So shortcut form may, what all things we can provide? We can provide first color, second marker, third is line style, and this you can provide in any order. Okay, not just mandatorily in the order that I am mentioning, any order. Let's see how do we do that. So let's say O ko I am giving, okay, color I am giving B now, and instead of O I am giving asterisk. Let's see whether it works. See, it is working. A B represents the line color blue, asterisk represent the marker, and this dot dot represents the type of the line. So these three things we can give, but in any combination we can give. Let's say first I am giving color, second I am giving the line type, let's say dotted line like this, and instead of asterisk, let's say I am giving V, which is triangle down. Okay. And if I will run this program, you can see it has drawn green dotted line and triangle down. So this is about the shortcut. Yes, thanks for reminding me, Raj. So shortcut style is something which we have missed. So this is how we basically draw the plots using shortcut. Okay, now last thing is, okay, still have 10, 12 minutes. Okay, cool. Okay, last thing what we want to see is basically the subplot. So subplot means plotting multiple plots in one figure. Okay, how do we do that? For that, uh, let's take two values, x1, y1. Okay, and then let's take x2 equal to 3, 6, 9, something like this, y2 equal to 12, 56, 90, something, some random values. Okay, so these random values we have taken, and subplot I have to do. So first subplot I will draw. So for the subplot, what we'll do, plt dot subplot 1, 2, and then plot number 1 I'm giving. So what it represents, that finally, we will be having one row and two columns. So one row basically in the plot, this will be represented as one row, and it will have two columns like this. And these plots will be represented by one number and two number. Okay, so this represent 1, 2, 1 means one row may we have two plots, and this plot number is 1, ye wala. Next one, when I will draw another subplot, I will use 1, 2, 2, which will represent the second plot, something like this. So plt dot subplot 1 comma 2 comma 1 I have given, and then plt dot plot में first plot में I am drawing x1 versus y1. This is first. इसका title भी okay. Let's put title also. plt dot title first plot, and now let me draw second plot here. Second plot में plt dot subplot 1 comma 2 comma 2. Again, why I am giving 2? This 2 represent the second plot, plot number 2. Okay, and then plt dot plot x2 comma y2, correct? And title second plot I am giving, and then plt dot show. Let's see how it works. If I'll draw this, you can see it has drawn these two plots in the same figure like this, right? Okay, let's try to change some of these attributes in these plots. तो इसमें plt dot plot x1 comma y1, इसमें color I am giving as red. Second वाले में color, let's say I am giving as cyan. What else we want to change? First wala line style, let's say line style I am giving as dotted lines. And second wale में line style is I am giving dash dash. Okay, dashed line, dash dash. इसमें line width, let's say I am giving as 2. Above one में line width I am giving as instead of 2, 7. Alpha I am giving it as 0.1, which means very much transparent, almost invisible. इसमें alpha I am giving as 0.9, and let's run this program now to see how it looks. Okay, cyan. Okay, instead of cyan, let's use something else. Cyan itself is looking transparent, so instead of cyan, let's use blue color or same red color. Both we will be using same color to see the difference. Okay, now you can see the difference, right? यहाँ पे फर्स्ट प्लॉट में अल्फा इज 0.1, so this is very transparent line. Line width is 7, so these dotted line becomes very thick line or very wide line. Second one में line width was small, so this was looking proper dotted line. Alpha is 0.9, which means very much visible. Alpha 0.1 means very much invisible. So this is how something you basically you play with these attributes, and basically, you know, that's how you define your attributes and draw your final plots. It's a very interesting it's a very interesting library, Matplotlib. Try to, you know, play around with this because it gives you the visual representation of the graphs that you are drawing. So you will be a little bit more fascinated to try out different options. So I would recommend you to, you know, start practicing on Matplotlib to see different kind of plot that you can draw. Okay. There is one more thing, tight layout. Let's see plt dot tight layout. If I'll be using tight layout here, let's see if it makes sense here. Okay, tight layout doesn't make much sense. Okay, next thing is something. Okay, what happens if you want to draw this graph and save to external file? Okay, so save to external file. Let's say I want to save it to plt dot. I will use save FIG method and plot.png. So यहाँ पे it will be basically saved somewhere. Okay, I have already saved it. Let me delete this existing one. ठीक है, refactor. Okay, now we will see that in this particular directory structure, it will basically draw a graph plot.png and it will save it. If I'll run it, it is drawing the graph, but it is not saving, right? Why it is not saving? Because it's a very common pitfall that plt.savefig, if you want to save the graph, you have to use or call this function before plt.show. So before showing the graph, you have to save it. And now when you will run this program, it will save the graph now. You can see it has saved the graph here. So if I'll open this file is saving the graph that you have drawn, plot.png in the PNG format. Can we save it in JPEG format? Let's see that also. Okay, so in JPEG format also it is saving. So PNG and JPEG are common, image formats that you can use. And this is how you basically save the graphs. Okay, I think we are done with Matplotlib. I wanted to have some quiz today, but we don't have much time. I have a webinar today. So what we will do, we will basically do a lot of quizzes in the next class. I just want to take some suggestions from you. So should we be starting AI/ML from tomorrow, or do you want some time to revise, Python, and then probably start AI/ML from next week? So I'll put a poll on the group. So you accordingly vote there, and whatever you guys decide, we'll go according to that. Okay. Okay. Any last question before we wrap up this session? Okay. So we are done with Python, and next session onwards, whenever you guys decide, we'll be starting the artificial intelligence and machine learning from very basic. And I can assure you that it will be very interesting session. So please plan to join the session from now on, because it's AI/ML basic sessions from where you will basically start building your basics. And I mean, to build the basics in AI/ML is very important. So I would recommend you guys to join further sessions. So I'll put a poll on the group after this call, so you guys can vote accordingly. And I would, suggest you to do a complete revision of Python, because unless you will not do hands-on, you will forget the things in couple of days. So that's why I keep telling everyone that please do some hands-on and keep revising. Cool. I think we are pretty much done with today's session. Thank you everyone for dialing in, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.